Hello, I'm Dr. Albanese with Albanese Chiropractic, and our mission is to help as many families as possible create healthy lifestyles and reach optimal health through chiropractic. Today, we're going to talk about protein, specifically protein recommendations. How much protein should the average person be consuming? Now, protein means of prime importance, and as such, it garners a lot of attention. Now, protein is important, but it's only one of three macronutrients that our body needs. We need carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and we need them all in certain amounts, the right percentages, in order to truly be healthy. But protein is given so much attention, we think we need more of it. In fact, there are diets that are focused on the amount of protein that we consume a day, like keto diets or paleo diets. And those are all great, but we can't downplay the importance of fats and carbohydrates. So let's take a look at what the protein requirements are or recommendations for an individual. Now, back in 1943, the National Academy of Science recommended approximately 0.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, since then, the World Health Organization has increased those recommendations to 0.66 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, that accounts for some people needing a little bit more and a little bit less. Now, how does that translate in terms of pounds? Well, if we look at our body weight and we divide that by 2.2 and multiply that times 0.66, we come up with the recommendations for how many grams of protein per pound of body weight. Now, most people will be surprised that the small amount of protein our body actually requires or needs. It's only about 8 to 10% of our daily caloric intake should be comprised of protein. Any more than that isn't necessary and doesn't necessarily have a benefit. In fact, it can cause problems like kidney problems, liver problems. Having too much protein can also increase insulin, and that can lead to insulin resistance, which opens up to a lot of different health problems. So eating more protein than recommended isn't necessarily going to be a benefit to you. Now, when we're younger, our body can tolerate a little bit more protein, or if there are tremendous stress levels, our body may need more protein. But on the whole, protein recommendations should be somewhere around 0.66 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So what happens if we do have more protein or ingest more protein than recommended? What happens and what are the benefits? Well, let's take a look at that. So let's look at 3 studies to help illustrate what happens when we consume more protein than the recommended amount. The first study had 2 groups of people. The first group consumed 0.61 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. The second group had an excessive amount of protein, 1.19 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And after following these 2 groups for 4 weeks, there was no difference in strength or body composition. So there really was no benefit in consuming that much protein. Now, the second study also had 2 groups of people. Now, these were conditioned athletes. The first group consumed 0.77 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. The second group consumed 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. And at the end of 3 months, again, same findings, no difference in strength or body composition. So there was no benefit in the overconsumption of protein. Now, the third study was a study done with high performance athletes, high endurance triathlete type athletes. These people are training 6 days a week, 90 minutes a day, and not just spending time at the gym, but truly training hardcore for 90 minutes. Well, they consumed 0.82 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight and only found a very nominal difference in strength or body composition. So again, we go back to the World Health Organization's recommendations. On the average, 0.66 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Just to again reiterate how we translate that to pounds, say for example, you're a 150-pound person. Take 150 pounds, divide that by 2.2, multiply that times 0.66, and that gives you approximately 45 grams of protein per pound of body weight, recommendations for protein consumption. Use that as a gauge. Now, you may need to increase or decrease just a little bit, but as these 3 studies showed, there really was no benefit of consuming more protein than recommended, and it can only lead to adverse health conditions. So I hope this gives you some better understanding as to what healthy protein recommendations are. Like always, we ask that you share this video and hit the like button, and also subscribe to our channel. We appreciate when you do that because that helps us to create better content and information based on the folks that are listening and watching these videos. So I'm Dr. Albanese. Until we see you again, have a great day and be well.